Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Claire. About a year and a half ago, I sold everything I owned to become a scuba instructor and travel the world. Now I'm wanting to share all of my tips and tricks and experiences with you guys to show you that traveling the world on a budget is possible for anyone. So stay tuned, and without further ado, welcome to Adventuring with Claire. So in today's video, I'm going to take you guys along with me on my recent trip to Turkey. I was looking for a vacation after my time working in Italy, and one of my friends, Olivia, was going to take a vacation around the same time. So we met up and then we decided to go to Turkey together. Our first stop was Istanbul. I arrived a few days before Olivia, so I had a few days kind of by myself to explore the city a little bit. We were staying at Cheers Hostel, and it had really great reviews and all completely justified. We had such a great time at this hostel. I've been talking a lot about hostels lately on my blog posts, on social media, and I'm gonna do it again here because hostels are incredible. Just the sense of community that you feel in hostels as a solo traveler especially is unmatched. I was going through a very painful breakup when I arrived in Turkey. I felt so alone because I'm on the other side of the world from all of my family and friends. Olivia wasn't going to be joining me for still a few days, and so I was like, what am I gonna do alone in this hostel, heartbroken. I stayed in one of the hostel's all-female dorms, and so it was me and 5 other solo female travelers. These girls, they took me in, tried everything to make me feel better. We went out to dinners together, we did day trips together, and at night we all sat in a little circle in our room and shared our breakup stories and just all connected. And these ladies did not have to do this at all. It just shows the incredible people that you meet when traveling, staying in hostels. So anyway, enough of that. A little bit more about Istanbul. So it is split into 2 parts. You have the European side, and then across the bridge you have the Asian side. We stayed on the European side, and our hostel was so much fun. It was one of the top listed ones on the European side. On the Asian side, I did hear that there are cheaper hostels, and we toured around during the day on the Asian side, and things kind of seemed like a younger crowd, and everything was a little bit cheaper. And so I do wish that we would have spent a little time maybe finding a hostel to stay in on the Asian side, but still was a great experience. Each morning I woke up and the hostel provided us breakfast, and we had this cute little kitten that would come around and snuggle with me. I would spend like 2 hours just like journaling, eating breakfast, and she would just be sitting in my lap, just so precious. That was one of the really cool things about Istanbul, actually. All of their stray animals are very, very well taken care of. They have stray dogs and stray cats, but they all look super well fed. Because a lot of businesses will put little dishes of cat food and dog food and water outside of their shop. And then a lot of places build tiny little shelters for the dogs and cats. And because of this, all the stray animals there are very, very friendly. They're not scared of humans, which is so nice to see. Mosques are everywhere in Istanbul. We were able to tour one of the popular mosques called the Hagia Sophia. We learned that in history it's kind of gone back and forth from being a Catholic church to a mosque. So you were actually able to see Catholic paintings that were just hidden behind sheets, because now it's considered a mosque. In order to go inside, you have to be modestly dressed and be wearing a hijab, and you cannot wear shoes inside. So we went in and just were exploring around, seeing kind of what it was about, and it was very, very pretty inside. Another top thing we did while we were there was go to the Grand Bazaar, and this was everything that you imagine a bazaar in Turkey to be. They had every single name brand, clothing store, accessory store that you can think of. Anything you wanted, it was there. Another really fun thing that we did while we were there is tour the Galata Tower. It used to be a tall lookout tower, now it is turned into a museum. So we went up all the stairs, went out onto the balcony, and it overlooked all of Istanbul. I thought it was extremely funny because before traveling to Turkey, on Instagram I've seen so many pictures of women in these big flowy dresses on like a swing overlooking Istanbul, and I was like, wow, these pictures are so beautiful. While we were on top of the Galata Tower overlooking everything, we saw where the magic happens. It's like a whole studio, a whole production with these companies that give these ladies these dresses and put them on the swing and just snapping all these shots. Wow, I've seen all these pictures before. I didn't know they were so staged, but yes, they are. After our tour, we had to go try this San Sebastian cheesecake that is supposedly famous in this area. It is a touristy thing to check off your list if you're going to Istanbul, is getting this San Sebastian cheesecake outside of the Galata Tower. So you have the Galata Tower and then you have like a small street, and this small street is filled with all kinds of cheesecake stores. Nothing different about any of them. They're all selling the exact same thing. It's just that there is such a demand for this cheesecake that they need to have so many different stores. We took a seat and got our cheesecake. Olivia got the traditional San Sebastian cheesecake, which is the cheesecake with milk chocolate drizzled on top. I am not a huge fan of chocolate, so I ended up getting the Biscoff cookie cheesecake, and it was amazing. Both of them were actually amazing. For not liking chocolate, I really did like Olivia's. So good, highly recommend. So we only spent a few days in Istanbul and then we wanted to head to Cappadocia. Cappadocia is another Instagram famous location, mostly because of the hot air balloons that they set off every morning. We stayed in another hostel called the Hostel Terra Vista, and they had a really nice roof terrace that you could go up to every morning and watch all the hot air balloons go up. The cost of the hot air balloon ride is about $200 per person. So your girl did not go on the hot air balloon. But waking up every morning and seeing all the balloons go up at sunrise was amazing. Highly recommend. It was so beautiful. Olivia and I only had like 3 days, I think, to pack in as many activities in Cappadocia as we could. And we booked everything through our hostel. The hostel arranged everything for us. We paid the hostel. It was so easy. Hostels are like accommodation mixed with travel agency. They just do everything for you. And it's usually at a much cheaper cost than you'll find in other places. So tours and activities that we did while we were there was the green tour, the red tour, whirling dervishes, a Turkish bath, and an ATV sunset tour. So the first night we got there, we went to a whirling dervish ceremony. It's a Muslim religious ceremony where these men dress in these long white cloaks and twirl around a platform to the music of reed instruments and flutes. From what I could understand, the right hand that they have faced up is basically to receive grace from God, and then the left hand is faced down to then transfer that grace to the world. And then they're just spinning and spinning along this platform. They're spinning for like 15 minutes. I have no idea how they don't get dizzy. And the whole ceremony puts the audience in like a relaxed state. It was a very, very cool experience. So on our first full day there, we started with the green tour. The green tour is sightseeing things that are farther away from Cappadocia. So it's like a full day excursion and it's a lot of driving. We saw things like the Nargol Crater Lake. We saw this guy just hop on a donkey and just take off and do like a perimeter run of the lake. We saw Ilara Valley and Pigeon Valley, which are beautiful views. We toured the Derinkuyu underground city, which goes down about 85 meters, which is about 278 feet. We saw where these people had their churches underground, where they made the food and where they lived, where they made wine, everything. And it was quite a workout to get all the way through it. After we got out of the underground city, we took a little break, had some coffee, and it was time for one of the Islamic call to prayers. And so they have the call going on in the speakers, and the local dogs then started howling along to the call. Then for our lunch, we went on a little hike down the river. It was called the Bilisirma River Restaurant. It was so cute. They really built little huts on top of the river for you to eat lunch on. That was pretty much everything that we did in the green tour. It was a lot of driving, but we did learn so much about the history of Cappadocia. The next day we started doing the red tour, which is activities that are a lot closer to Cappadocia. Really, you could do the activities that we did on the red tour by yourself. I found for a lot of the places that we went to, if we didn't have the tour guide with us explaining all these things, it wouldn't have meant as much to me. I wouldn't have learned as much or appreciated as much the culture behind it. So we first went to the open air museum, which is basically just big hoodoos that people had built houses into. They carved out places to live inside these hoodoos. People actually lived in these places until about the 90s. And Olivia and I were star students this day because our tour guide was asking questions that our tour guide the day before had told us already. So we were able to answer all of his questions. He was very impressed by us. Another highlight of the red tour was getting to go to a pottery shop. So red pottery is very, very popular in the Turkish culture. They make all kinds of beautiful, beautiful pieces. And so we actually got to go into a shop and see how things are made. And I actually got to spin my own little pot.
Slowly, slowly, put and open it a little bit, slowly, slowly.
Böyle güzel oldu mesela.
I think it's okay, it's enough. If you try anymore, after that it can be destroyed.
Pinch by pinch.
Okay, you can continue. Keseceğiz, şimdi keselim.
Okay. Bitti.
Take it.
Bravo.
We then ended the red tour visiting the Uşhisar Castle, which is again just rooms that were dug out into this big hoodoo. Then immediately after the red tour, we did an ATV sunset tour. We thought it was just going to be a tour where we get an ATV and we go just zipping around, see what we can find. No, it was an extremely structured ATV ride where I was behind Olivia and I could not leave my place in line. And it was like coordinating with all the other ATV companies. The guys were like, okay, everyone stop. All these other people, go, 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 go. Okay, now we go, go, go. And so all the ATV companies went to the same spot. So it was just madness the entire time.
This is how you ride it, right? No, what do you mean? This is great.
After the ATV riding, we all went to this really nice spot to watch the sunset. One of the guys then was offering to take everyone one by one around on an ATV ride, and he's doing like wheelies and stuff like that. So Olivia and I went on a ride with him. The sunset was amazing. The sky was pink and purple, and it kind of then cast those colors onto the city as well. And you could see the castle that we went to earlier in the day in the background. And then on our last day, we decided to treat ourselves with a Turkish bath. Neither of us had really any idea of what we were getting ourselves into, but man, it was an experience. I don't have any pictures or videos because there were no phones allowed while we were down there. Basically how it went: we sat in a sauna for about 20 minutes. Then we went into a salt room, which is exactly that, like big blocks of salt. And it's very moist in the room and it's supposed to be good for your skin. Then after that, we sit in the steam room. After that, you go into the main area. It was this big circle room with this big circle stone table in the middle. And we would lie on the edge, and one of the women that works there, she's in a bikini, and she comes up with like a scrubber and scrubs all of the dead skin away, and then you get a bubble sponge bath. And so then they basically just bathe you. And then after that you take a shower, and then Olivia and I decided to finish the Turkish bath with a hour-long massage, because why not? We both left and we're just like, that was an experience. Now lastly, the part that I thoroughly enjoyed throughout the whole time that we were in Cappadocia was getting Turkish ice cream. Maybe you guys have seen videos online of like the Turkish ice cream guys. They trick people with the ice cream, and it did not disappoint. We got Turkish ice cream every night simply for the entertainment. The first night we didn't know what to expect, so it really was like a shock. The second night we knew what to expect, so we went up and it was just for fun. The third night, Olivia and I were like, we're gonna get these guys back. And so we were like, let's just like hold on really hard to the ice cream cone and try and like mess up their rhythm. So please enjoy this next video of Olivia trying to get ice cream from this Turkish ice cream vendor.
The U.S.
Yes, yeah. Ice cream! Okay. What's your name?
Olivia.
Okay. What's ice cream? Finish? Very fast. Extra bonus. This is enough?
Yes, I'll take that.
Okay. Oh. Yes, please, Turkish ice cream. What? Oh, where is it going?
I don't know.
Yes? What is your height? Bravo! Focus, focus, show, abracadabra! Ah, sorry. Bravo! Which one?
I don't know.
Okay, Senect. Bravo, my God. Amazing show. High five. Bravo. Ice cream. Hello. Ah, sorry. Hi. Nice to meet you. Nice. Yes, please, Turkish ice cream. Hello. Extra bonus. Oh, what is this? Yes, please, Turkish ice cream game show. Hello. This is a big test. Repeat that. Oh my.
It hurts my stomach.
We became best friends with the ice cream guy from the third day. So we took a picture with him. And that was basically our trip. We flew back to Istanbul the next day. I then continued on to Thailand, which is where I'm at right now. And then Olivia spent a little bit more time exploring other parts of Turkey. But yeah, that was our time together, and it was so much fun. Olivia and I travel so well together. This is the third country that her and I have traveled to together, and it's very rare to find friends that you travel so well with. So I feel very lucky to have Olivia. So that is it for today's video. Thank you guys for tuning in and watching. Hopefully if you're planning to go to Turkey anytime soon, this gives you some ideas of things to do while you're there, or maybe now it put Turkey on your radar of places that you maybe want to go to. If you want to find out more of my travel tips, you can go to my blog. It's adventuringwithclaire.com, and then be sure to follow me on social media for more travel tips. So that's it for now. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you next week.